Hello, my name is Brittany and I'm an admissions representative with Kansas State University Online. And I want to start by thanking everyone for joining us tonight to learn more about our online food science master's degree program. I'm joined by Dr. Smith, who will be spending roughly the next 30 minutes or so giving us a presentation about this program, and we'll spend the last 10 to 15 minutes answering questions. Throughout the duration of the presentation, we will be monitoring the chat feature and answering questions as they're being asked. Some of your questions may be saved until the end for Dr. Smith to answer. If you could now please take a few seconds to locate the chat and let us know where you're from, as we would love to learn a little bit more about you. I'll give you a moment to do so now. As those chats start coming in, I also wanted to let you know that we will be sharing a recording of this presentation following the webinar. At this point, I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Smith.
Okay, thank you, Brittany. Welcome, everybody. This beautiful evening here in Manhattan, Kansas, and I hope the same for you wherever you might be. What I'm going to do is spend some time talking about our program. And Brittany will answer questions along the fly. I see we've already got 8 questions. If she can answer them, but we'll save some of them for the end. And we have contact information. So please, if you don't get a question asked or you're afraid to ask it at this point, contact myself or Nicole, especially, or Brittany, and we'll get back with you for an answer right away. So we got lots of questions. So I'm going to start the presentation, and we have a few slides here that talks about our program. The Food Science Graduate Program is an interdisciplinary program. It started, get this, folks, it's hard to imagine, over 50 years ago. And one of the founding fathers, he's in his 80s, he's still a professor in the chemical engineering program here at K-State. He's a food science graduate faculty member. So I can't imagine that, but it's been around for quite some time. Interdisciplinary means that we have faculty from all different types of departments and different colleges. And it makes for a very good mix and gives us a lot of flexibility, and we get a lot of different approaches to different types of food science issues, topics, research, things of that sort. The Food Science Institute was founded about 20 years ago after the program was founded, and now the Institute sort of acts at a central point that helps support our food science programs all across campus. The contact people here, just so here's some pictures of, I look much better in the one here on the screen, not the one in person here. These are your contact people, and there's their emails, and please feel free to contact any of us about the program's questions you might have. You're on this this call because you're probably interested in the food science master's degree, and I guess the question is also, I think have a pretty good idea why you want to do the food science MS degree, and if not, talk to me. We'll chat about it, and then why K-State? Well, for one thing, K-State, we pretty much have one of the first food science degrees. We go back to 2002, so we've been in business for quite some time, and we continue to grow and get better and improve and everything else. And actually, some of the program, the online aspect of food science and some of the animal science courses goes way back to the 1980s when USDA, U.S. Department of Agriculture, wanted their inspectors to get educated. So Kansas State University started up some programs and some not a degree, but just some courses that they could take, and the USDA was paying their tuition. I wasn't around at that time. I was at Penn State then, and actually I remember hearing about the program even at Penn State. So we go back. But anyway, um, career opportunities. I don't think I need to belabor this point here. There's most of the people that take our degree, the online degree, master's degree, are in some aspect of the food industry. One of the subcategories, maybe food chemistry, food micro, quality assurance, R&D, quality assurance, or product development, uh, just all kinds of different aspects. And they find that the degree is typically very useful. Some of you will probably have a bachelor's degree, maybe in food science. This gives you a further advancement in your career, and it seems to help in promotions and things of that sort. So, and I've got several students that, online students I'm advising now, that are taking the degree. They have a food science degree, a bachelor's degree, and they're taking a master's degree because they think that's going to help them a little bit within their company, or maybe to move to another company. So, in fact, it's ironic. One of the students is actually this master's student came in with less experience, but a food science degree student from another company, and she had a bachelor's degree but much more experience. But this person came in and took over and sort of became her supervisor, and she was upset about that. The irony of that is that person that came in from outside was one of my former master's students. I had to chuckle on that one. Okay, the these are a little bit old numbers, but this just so you know, this is 2019 IFT employment and salary survey data. This is the basically the total compensation. Bachelor's degrees, when they leave K-State, we're averaging around 55,000. That's typical for the industry. And our dynamics and the data we get from students that enroll in our program are somewhere in the 70 to 80,000 range. So we don't get a whole lot of data, but if they volunteered, we get that data, plus the benefits and everything. So, and if you were to go for a PhD, you make a little bit more, but a lot of times the master's degree works quite well for most, a lot of cases. I don't know, I think I'll try this. If you want to know where, this is on our website. We have this, whoops. This little globe over here, you can go in. I don't know if that's going to work or not. Let's see if I got it here. You can take a look at this. You might be curious if this is going to work. I don't know if it is. Ah, yes. If you zoom in to this, if you go to our website, take a look. This is not everything, but this just gives you an idea of where our degrees that have been awarded, where they come from. Let me see here. I know there's some in Pennsylvania, especially around. We've got, let's see, here's one here. Here's a master's student that in Hershey Company that did as a senior research scientist. What we got down here? We got Cargill. You can just look around and see where a lot of our former students are located, our alumni. Snyder's, we've got Department of Agriculture. In Delaware, we have Purdue Farms. Just you can just get a good feel for this. If you look internationally, our master's degree, we pretty much limit it to the United States and Canada. So if you see other degrees elsewhere, like over here in France, we have somebody that's Mars. Okay, this is a bachelor's student that's over in France, but our master's degree pretty much stays within the United States. Yeah, let me see if I can get out of this without making a mess. Okay. Go back to my other screen here. Anyway, take a look at it. It's pretty interesting. I'm going to close that tab. Okay. Did I lose my connection? I don't think I did
Nope, we can still see.
I? Okay. All right. So we're back. Anyway, I digressed a little bit. I thought that was pretty cool. So anyway, that's where we're located. Our online students, most are employed full-time, about 90–95%, different industries across the country. In most cases, the employer pays full, or at least a big portion of the tuition fees. And the students, when you come in, we actually designate a faculty advisor, that be your major professor. So that will be the person that will direct your studies while you're at K-State online. And we try to match it up with what your background is and do a pretty good job of that. And the people that agreed to, we don't just assign them, we ask the person if they'll take over this student. So you do have a personalized attention during your studies. The graduate courses, there's quite a bit of courses to choose from. Most of our courses are captured from, a lot of times are captured from on-campus lectures by some software. It's called MediaSite. It's a video system. And then it goes into Canvas, which is the course learning management system. And you may be familiar with that, but it's typical. There's Blackboard, there's some other varieties out there. This one works pretty well. So when you take a course, you go in and it's all set up there. You log in and can see that material. One advantage we have with our program is that we have both our distance and campus courses have the same material, if not identical. So that's the case with my courses that I teach. It's the same material, except the one is online. And I might also point out that almost all the courses we deal with on campus at K-State that you would take are asynchronous. And that seems to be a big concern, because that means the material's there and you can look at it anytime at your leisure, because it's going to be a recorded material. And so if you're working a full-time job, you don't want to have to stop and log into a course at 2 o'clock in the afternoon or something while you're at work. And what we find out is there are assignments to guide you through the course, but you can look at the material at your pleasure. And just from looking at my experience, I see that a lot of my students will log in the evenings and sometimes on the weekends. And almost all your faculty are available to answer questions. Sometimes we'll do email. I'll do phone calls, or if it's something that needs a little bit more attention, we'll do a Zoom call. The Zoom now is pretty much standard method of communication. We have over 70 online courses, probably more like 90. We have a list of courses that you might take, but a lot of these are in the food science area or related material. The KSU master's degree, we offer both the on-campus and online degree. We also have a PhD and we have a bachelor's degree. All options are the same as on-campus versions. They're called master's degree. Your diploma will say master's degree food science. It doesn't say master's degree online food science. So there's no designation. We consider these pretty much equivalent. The item one, typically almost all our students take the non-thesis, non-report coursework only option, because for one thing, in almost all cases, you're not going to be able to do any kind of research at your facility. Sometimes employers would actually like you to do that, but that's pretty rare. And that's fine. So the coursework, it's 34 credits. We do have report options. Anyway, excuse me. Both campus and online. Most campus students take the thesis option, obviously, because they're on campus and they have an assistantship, and we have research projects and things of that sort. So item number 3, there are situations where we will allow thesis online, and we have some of those that students that have done it that way, but it's a special situation. Anyway, we can talk more about that if you're interested. To give you an idea of the courses, I won't spend too much time on that, but coursework only, we require 34 credits, which is not too bad considering some of the other majors you could take, which are up around 40, maybe 50. We have a core of 20 to 22 credits. There's block A, which is required. And you'll see that we have scientific writing, we have statistics, and then we have 3 food science courses. And then block B are options. Now, if you have an undergraduate degree and have taken some of these courses, for example, if you look at block A, food science 600, you probably had food microbiology if you have an undergraduate degree in food science. But we're not going to make you take it over again. What we'll do is we'll do a substitution of another course. So that's not a problem. So, and you'll see that these are the core courses we're looking at, and we have lots of elective type courses you can take. And that's up to your advisor and the committee. So we don't dictate those courses. Or the chair doesn't do that. Since we launched the program in fall of 2002, we've graduated, it's probably a little bit old, this number, probably about 275 online students. We get about 10 or 15 defend per semester, including the summer session. Right at this moment, we have, as of this last week, we had 94 students, online students in progress in the program right now that are active. And the vast majority of our graduates, our students are employed in the food industry. In fact, that's the way this design is to work with people that are students that are employed right now in the food industry. So the related studies you can do is the food safety and security graduate certificate, and this is 12 credits. You can actually take this as part of the master's degree and use the same courses. So you can double dip, as they would say. So you can take 34 credits and take the right ones. You can get a certificate too. And we offer this. It's actually part of what's called an IDEA program. It's a consortium of different universities that offer similar courses or the same courses or across universities. Kansas State University, Iowa State, University of Nebraska, and University of Missouri. So you can take courses across at those different universities, but you register through K-State, and those will count. And this is a pretty straightforward process, and sometimes this is desirable to have depending on the type of job that you have, your duties. So I recommend that you visit the Food Science Institute website and look under students and future students. That's right there, right here, right on the page there. If you can't find the Food Science website, just when you go into the KSU main website, just go up in the right-hand corner. And there's a search box. Just type in food science and hit enter and go through it that way. Some of our websites are getting a little bit busy now. It's hard to find information, at least for me it is. So, but take a look at it, and that has more details. But we're always willing to answer your questions. So pop us an email or something. Give us a call, and we'll take care of you. Like I said before, we're willing to talk with you. I get all kinds of questions, and I don't know, 400, contacts over the last 5 or 6 years of students with questions, and chances are I've probably heard it before. So if you are concerned about your GPA, most of you are not, but let's say you are, your degree is not quite in a food science area. Maybe you need some prereqs. Just talk to us and find out. We'll see what can be done. And we now, just so you know, we do have guidelines that are set up by the graduate school, so we don't accept students. What we do is we make a recommendation to the graduate school. So we do have to meet their guidelines on GPAs and things of that sort, but there is some flexibility there. Maybe take a course or two if you needed to make up for something, and go from there. So give us a call. And likewise, Brittany and the folks over at the Global Campus are pretty experienced with a lot of this, so they can answer a lot of your questions too. And let me see here. So here's our contact information. Nicole, she's our program assistant. Her and I chat every day. I go in and sit down in the office with her, and I said, okay, what do you need me to do today? What's up? So, or she comes by. So and she manages our applications and that kind of thing before they come to me. She gets things set up and helps find it, reviewers and things of that sort. She's very, very good resource. She loves working with students, and she worked in the registrar's office for many years, so she has a lot of experience with all the ins and outs of registering for classes and things of that sort. And you see my name here. That's my office number, and then I got my email, and Jeanette can also answer your questions, and Diane and Brittany and Global Campus, and I guess they have a general online at ksu.edu email that goes to either one of them, and they get back to your questions promptly also. So let me see here. I guess we'll stop at this point and take any questions you all might have. And I see we only have 10. Should I just go ahead and look at the chat, or?
Yeah, so some of those messages are just me providing links to some of the things you
Oh,
were talking
okay,
about.
okay.
So if anybody has any questions about anything we've gone over, or something we didn't cover, or maybe something pertaining to your situation, feel free to put that in the chat and we will get that answered.
Okay, should I just check with the chat?
Yeah, or I can ask you the questions when they come through.
Okay, why don't you just do that
Sounds good.
rather than both of us checking there. Boy, this is a really easy crowd.
So we have one question regarding the pricing for the program, which I can look up real quick for you unless you have that handy, Dr. Smith.
I have a rough estimate. It's about the total program, by the time you go through everything is about $28,000, $27,000, $28,000. That was based on the past tuition rates, so it's actually going to be a little bit smaller than that. And if you're in the online program, you get the in-state tuition rate. Is that correct, Brittany?
Yeah, so for our online programs, we don't differentiate between in-state and out-of-state students. All of our online students pay the same tuition rate. And the current rate per credit hour for this program is set at $598.50, which, like you said, ends up coming out to about that total when all is said and done.
Yeah.
The next question What is the typical time to degree completion? How many courses students take per semester, how long it typically takes students to finish, that kind of thing?
Good question. I get that a lot. Um, the average time is about 2.5 years. So you figure 34 credits divided by 2.5. And so students will typically take about 2 classes per semester. That'd be fall and spring. And depending on their schedule, they may take a couple in the summer. Now, we don't have as many course offerings in the summer because, for example, I don't teach food chemistry in the summer. I take the summer off. But we do have some courses offered in the summer. Um, and it all depends on your situation. If you're traveling a lot, sometimes a student might not even take a class as one semester. They might just pause, and we're okay with that, or just take one class. And I've had others that have taken 3 credits a semester, and they've gone through very quickly. So it all depends on your work schedule and your situation at home. If you have some young kids, or if you're a woman and you're dealing with a pregnancy and working, that might be a tough time on that one. So, but I've had students that do a lot of traveling, so they need to back off a little bit, maybe take one class. So, but the average time is about 2.5 years. And we've gone all the way out. We don't like to do this, but we've had students go all the way out to like 6 years. And we had one the other day that came back. He'd been gone. He stopped for a while and then came back, and it was 8 years. And we had to get some special exemptions from the graduate school to accept the courses, but we managed to work it out. And a student that's really gung ho and has a lot of time, gets into it. We've had them do it in about 1.5 years. So, but the average time is about 2.5 years.
Thank you. Next, can credits be transferred from other universities like the Rutgers Food Science Master's Degree Program?
Absolutely. As long as they're taken for, if the graduate school allows us to accept 10 credits outside of K-State. So of the total of the 34. So if you are at another institution and you took the courses for graduate credit, not for undergraduate, and you got a grade of B or better, you can transfer those and count those towards your program at K-State. And we do that quite often, really.
Awesome. We have another student who's asking about the prereqs like calculus. They had used AP credit during their undergraduate program. So will that count towards the prerequisites? How does that work?
Um, we sort of negotiate that. If you've got a good background in other, like algebra, in some cases is actually more beneficial for you. We got the prereqs, but those aren't cast in stone, at least for the calculus. And I probably shouldn't be saying this, but physics too. We got some leeway on that. So now we do require calcium for our undergraduate degree, and I think that's where we evolved that. And it is required. It is necessary if you're taking any kind of engineering courses, but you wouldn't be taking those. So anyway, if you have questions about that, contact me. We can talk about it. But I think you could, if you have real strong algebra background, I think that'd be, or math background, that would be good enough.
Are there tutoring options available for online students?
We don't have any tutoring capabilities now. I don't know. I don't. It all depends on the type of course, but we just don't have the people to do that kind of thing. Typically, the tutoring is mostly with the undergraduate students on campus, and there may be some options there for the online undergraduate students. But no, I would say that there's not much there. There might be something. Does Global Campus have anything for tutoring options?
Like you said, they are typically geared more towards undergraduate
Yeah,
students um, at this point.
these are good questions.
Yeah, we also had a question about scholarships, and K-State Online offers scholarships every semester. So I'll be putting the link to those and the application in the chat for anyone who would like to look those over. We have those scholarships each semester, and then K-State in general also has a tuition payment plan, which I can put in the chat as well. Next, for those of us who may have graduated more than 4 years ago, is it generally recommended to retake certain core courses like food micro, food chem, even though we may have completed them for a bachelor's with the required passing grades?
No, don't do that. We're trying to save you money. The you folks would not cannot imagine. I've got students. We've had students that have been out of school for 15, 20 years, and they come back and we accept the courses. They're undergraduate courses. You might want to take the course over if you think that you're a little weak in that area, but we don't require that. But 4 years is not that long. I'm dealing with looking at applications now that are 7 years. They graduated 7 years ago. But if you're out in the industry, you're probably familiar with a lot of the material and things that are going on. But if you want to take them over, and you know that once you get into the program, talk to your advisor, and you can say, well, I'm weak in micro. Maybe I ought to just go ahead and take it, because 4 years, some things have happened in 4 years, and updates and stuff. Lots going on in micro and chemistry and all kinds of stuff, things. So it's not required, but you know you have an option of doing that. So. Anything else out there?
I'm just gonna give everyone another minute to see if you have more questions that you'd like to put in the chat. Someone would like to know if they have a bachelor's degree, but it's not in food science, does work experience count for anything?
Well, we won't. You can still get in the program even if you don't have a degree. If you don't have a degree in food science as an undergraduate. So, but work experience, I'm not sure what you mean by count. The work experience won't count toward any credit, but the work experience, we do think that's very important. So, but we do have students from a lot of different majors that we have majors from all different branches, and a lot of people don't have a food science degree. I did not have a food science degree until I got my PhD. I started out in biology, and then I went to biochemistry, and then I discovered food science. So it's like, wow, okay, this is pretty cool. So I'm glad I'm doing this. And so we get chemistry majors, former chemistry majors. One time we had a music major, and they just had to take the core courses. We've had people in business, the undergraduate degree in different types of business, and they want to go back and do the science part, and that works okay too. They just take some of the prereqs, and then we'll take a look at them. Yeah. Okay.
Great.
What else? Anything else?
Yeah,
Ooh.
so just to go back to the discussion about time to completion and limits on that. Um, you had mentioned that one student took as long as 8 years with special allowances. This person is kind of wanting to know what the limit is. It's my understanding that the graduate school generally has a rule of 6 years, but
Yes.
in extenuating circumstances, sometimes.
Yeah. It's 6 years, which is really a long time. So, and this particular student uh, just sort of he was almost done, and he decided he wanted to come back and finish up, and we were able to certify some of his old courses because the courses are only good for 6 years, and the graduate school gave us options on how to do that. So we try to be accommodating, but 6 years, that's a long time, really, if you think about it. So, but you don't want to be doing this for 6 years. 3 or 4 years is decent. Well, got one more here. What do we got here? Now, I just want to remind everybody that if you got some questions after this session's over with, pop me an email. My schedule's getting pretty open now, starting next week, because one of my classes is done, my on-campus classes. So I'll do my best to get back to you in a day or two. And so, let me know if you have any questions. We more than willing to talk with you.
So I'll just give everyone a couple more minutes to see if you have any additional questions. Then you can put those in the chat and we're happy to answer them. Like Dr. Smith said, if you have questions that come up later on, or maybe you don't feel comfortable asking them here, you can always reach out to us and we'll be happy to help you out. Well, it looks like most of the messages are thanking you, Dr. Smith, for that presentation. And so if there are any additional questions, we can go ahead and wrap up for the evening.
Okay.
I want to thank you, Dr. Smith, for that great presentation, and also thank everyone for joining us here tonight. If you're ready to apply, feel free to visit our website. It's online.ksu.edu and select how to apply for detailed instructions. As a reminder, everyone who is registered for this webinar will receive a recording via email as soon as it's available. Additionally, everybody who attended this webinar tonight is eligible for an application fee waiver for the Food Science Master's Degree Program for the spring 2022 semester. So you can send us an email at online@ksu.edu. I'll also put that in the chat. So send us an email when you're ready to apply, and we will provide you with an application fee waiver code. Also, like Dr. Smith mentioned, you can feel free to reach out to him if you have some specific questions regarding how your previous courses may transfer or how your courses may align with the prerequisites for the program. And with that, do you have anything else you'd like to add, Dr. Smith?
No, I think that's good. And thanks for everybody for tuning in. And um, hopefully we'll be talking to some of you in the future. And we'll see, maybe see your application for this coming spring.
Awesome. Well, once again, thanks everyone for joining us here tonight, and we look forward to talking with you more in the future.